Citizens in Action Southern Africa, CIASA, conducted interviews in the 5 provinces of Zimbabwe, namely Manicaland, Masvingo, Bulawayo, Harare and Midlands, for its human rights report. From the interviews, CIASA noted that human rights defenders continue to face a number of challenges. Let's hear more from Obet Masaraure's interview with CIASA.
Yes, I've been arrested for my human rights work. I've been arrested for over 40 times now, from the day when I was a student leader of Zimbabwe National Students Union, and the time when I was leading the teachers under the amalgamated Teachers Union of Zimbabwe. Really, the challenge is we have a government which criminalizes all human rights work, and human rights defenders are at risk of getting arrested for one petty thing or the other. In the recent arrest, when I was arrested and charged with trying to obstruct the course of justice, I was shocked when I went to Harare Central Police Station to report as the demands of my bail conditions, so I have to report every Friday. Then I was told I was under arrest again, this time for trying to obstruct justice. Of course, I was shocked because I never expected it. I never expected that someone would be arrested for being accused of posting a tweet on an account which is not a personal account. But I was arrested. I spent 2 nights in police cells. Then I was to Harare remand prison for over 40 days. The prison conditions were the worst that anyone can imagine, from the quality of the food, being overcrowded in a cell which is ordinarily designed for 40 people, but now having 120 people in that particular cell. Then also the general living conditions, be it sanitation, just water, ablution facilities, you name it. But thank God I was released after over 40 days under bail conditions. Stringent again, I still have to report to the police routinely. I had to pay a bail deposit of 50,000. But I'm hopeful that one day justice will be served. Of course, I would want to thank the prison officers who were very kind when I was under incarceration, where I never endured any form of victimization from the prison officials. They understood my plight and they were very supportive of our cause, because just like us, they are also workers. In the past, I've also experienced violence at the end of the state. I was abducted twice. January 2019 was the first encounter when I was dragged from my home by armed men who were carrying AK-47 guns. They tortured me and later dumped me at Harare Central Police Station. To date, I'm still being charged for subverting a constitutionally elected government.
Women human rights defenders are at a heightened risk as a result of the nature of their work in the defense of human rights. Gladys Changachiriri has more to say on this.
But when it's a woman on the same charge, it's a different story altogether. So you realize when the police come to arrest you, this happened to me in 2008. I was arrested together with 5 other guys who were part of the Student Representative Council. And we were gathered there waiting to get into the vehicle that was taking us to the police station. And the first thing the police who took us said was, including you women, what business are you doing in men's kind of, So already there is the assumption and the stereotyping of women who get arrested. You are an outlier in the society. Then secondly, there's conditions that you are then subjected to, definitely not at all responsive to the needs of women. At some point, I worked with a colleague who is a prison officer, and she was doing research for women victims of women who are detained women. And one of the things that she talked about was, when you look at the courts that are in Zimbabwe, most of them were never designed for women. So when you go there, already you lose your right to access to certain reproductive health rights. And then secondly, in as much as people have been very innovative and they try to respond and they can bring you, the things that you require, sometimes, like I said earlier on, it's up to the police, officials responsible for you. They can can actually choose not to allow those things in. And then number three, this is the biggest one. So you get arrested, worse when you get detained in a police cell and then go back into the communities. Number one, you're not easily acceptable by your own family, because most of our families are highly conservative. In some of the families where we come from, they don't know we're human rights defenders. Well, lucky for me, now my family knows, but with my first arrest, they didn't know I was a human rights defender, I was a women rights defender. So I could not even start with the matter. Yeah. And then secondly, when they found out, I became the burden upon the family. And this is the case of most of the women human rights defenders that we work with who get arrested, where their families, it's either they will accept you in the family, but they will tell you to stop your work, stop that business, it's too risky for you and you are risking us also. And in some instances, if they are married, it's their partners who are saying, look, you can't jeopardize my family. You know, so you are actually